The Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, a two-class developmental series for emerging talent and enthusiast racers. The Platinum class, the fastest cars with the newest Porsche 911 Carrera GT3 Cup race cars. The Gold category for 911s manufactured between 2005 to 2009. And within those two classes, a Masters Championship battle for drivers 45 and older. Tyres from Yokohama, race cars from Porsche. Setup is critical, but talent and racecraft are how you win. Every second counts, no mistake goes unpunished. Drivers aren't pros, but this isn't amateur hour. All of Porsche's factory races started in a series just like this. It's the largest single make series on the planet. This is the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Yokohama.
So the lights are out on the Porsche Panamera safety car and we are ready to go racing in the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 4.048 miles per lap. With the 45 minutes on the clock for a time-certain race, and Madison Snow will take over the pace of the field when the Panamera pulls into the pit lane, which it does now, and the young man on the inside climbing the hill has the whole field of 33 highly powerful, highly developed Porsche GT3 race cars under his control, with Sloan Urry right alongside him waiting for the green flag, and there it is, it's in the air and we're racing for round 9, and straight away Urry gets the jump, got on the power just a little bit quicker, and it looks to me as though Brett Sandberg is trying to follow him through. Angel Benitez Jr. pokes the nose of the NGT Motorsport car out down the inside in 4th position, but can't get it done and goes wide. That's one of the championship contenders right across the front of the field. Carnage at turn number 1, and he gets away without being collected, but others not so lucky.
Wow, that was a pivotal moment in the championship. Still some people getting together behind him, coming down before the Briggs and Stratton sign there, and boy, that was an ugly start. And for Angel Benitez, I saw him about 20 minutes ago. He's got going again. It doesn't look like there's any damage to that car.
He didn't get hit for sure.
But we were talking about his qualifying yesterday. He knows he's got a fast car, and he didn't make the most of it yesterday in qualifying. He was just trying too hard. He knew that. He recognised that. So he was just trying to be more conservative in the race. Not the way it started, though.
Oh, absolute nightmare there for a number of drivers. Wesley Hoagland was involved in that further back. David Ducote in the Kelly Moss Motorsport car coming down with the front end gone. Let's take another look at this. As they come into turn 1, it was a great start from Urry. Gets ahead. It looked, that's exactly what he did yesterday in qualifying, but he caught it, Angel Benitez Jr. didn't this time. Now he gets away. He is not touched at all. But look what's going on behind as people check up. Around goes the number 11 car. That's Dan Wayland at the back of this field, but he's got away with it. But there's all sorts of incidents going on. There's the 0-2 of Hoagland right across the circuit at the moment. This will be a full course caution, and the Porsche Panamera safety car will come out again. Indeed, the yellow flags are out, and there are some big names who are in trouble early on. But the good news for the championship contender Benitez Jr. is he started at that, but completely got away with it. This is qualifying yesterday, and Benitez just attacking turn 1 a little bit too fast, gets it sideways, and it's a beautiful piece of car control. Now that looks kind of familiar now, but this time perhaps with his tyres not quite up to temperature at turn 1, he caused that big incident. 12 minutes, 13 minutes almost now has been completed, and all bar the first 35 seconds of that has been under full course caution, but there has been a change from the starting grid, with Sloan Urry getting ahead of Madison Snow. Effort Racing leads Snow Racing Wright Motorsports behind the Porsche Panamera safety car. In 3rd position, Brett Sandberg had a good start as well. And then it's Michael Mills up into 4th from Craig Dewson, who wrested the lead of the Masters class from Casey Kuhlman in that frantic first quarter of a mile or so. Colin Thompson up to 7th position, and he started in 9th, so a couple of positions made up from him. Notice I haven't mentioned the joint leader of the championship, Angel Benitez Jr. He caused the mayhem on that first entry into turn number 1, and he has dropped all the way down to 26th position. The advantage, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it, here for Angel? is that he's not losing any more time to the leaders, but he's not been able to pass anybody. But on the plus side again, it's all been closed up in front of him, whereas if we'd carried on being green, he would have lost a bit more real estate.
Yeah, very true. Only the top 15, though, score points. You get 1 point for 15th place. You get 20 points for a win. So certainly this is potentially a great day for Madison Snow. And, you know, all of the championship contenders this season have had some difficulties during the races. You always talk about, you know, consistency being the key to a championship. But Benitez, he's had 2 did not finishes. He's also had 4 wins, a second and a third. Madison Snow, with whom is tied on points, has 3 wins, 2 seconds, a third, 1 DNF and one only 14th place finish. So, you know, it's all evened itself out, but it's unusual, I think, to see the championship contenders with 2 poor finishes even just halfway through the season.
So Sloan Ury then, having sat and watched the back of the Porsche Panamera for over 10 minutes now, has to get his mind set on racing. He's backing the field up and the green flag's in the air, and we're racing with just on 21.5 minutes to go, 3 wide across the line, and Sloan Ury has got the whole field behind him, but he's got a decent jump. Madison Snow in second place is really having to defend from Brett Sandberg, and down the inside there's all kinds of moves being made, but the top 4 remain as they are. Going through in 5th position, Craig Durson holds on to the Masters lead as they head past the scene of the crime on lap number 7, but only the second full lap of racing.
That was a tremendous restart once again from Sloan Ury. First time in the lead of the race. What a great restart. He got on the hammer early. He left Madison Snow behind him. Madison Snow, even though he's only 17 years old, he's got a lot more experience in these cars. Brilliant restart from Sloan Ury, car number 20.
And a great start from Colin Thompson, who is alongside Craig Durson as they come down into turn number 5. Durson on the inside. Can Colin Thompson in the bright orange machine go all the way? Buffalo Gals round the outside. He's got the traction on the hard part of the runoff area, and they're still side by side as they go up to turn 6 under the Corvette bridge, and racing room being asked for and given by both. That's great stuff. Thompson doesn't back out of it, drops one of the Yokohamas onto the dirt and drops a couple of positions.
Wow, great racing between those two. They've both got a lot of experience here driving Skip Barber racing cars over the years. Colin Thompson and Colin Thompson now dives back down the inside of Casey Kuhlman down into turn 8.
Yeah, and Kuhlman did not want to see that, did he? Because he's getting separated from the Masters leader. Meanwhile, coming out of the carousel for the 7th time, just this, well, really the first time under racing. Oh, big mistake there from Madison Snow, who got a little bit wide at the front Yokohamas. Well, they give grip, but only when they're in contact with the Road America tarmac. There was air underneath the front of that Wright Motorsports Porsche there, as he just began to close on the leader. Ury from Snow, 20 from 62, Sandberg in 3rd, and Michael Mills is still there in 4th. Durson hanging on to the Masters lead in 5th position, now has Thompson behind him in 6th. Casey Kuhlman battling with Cisneros and Phil Fogg Jr. at the bottom end of the top 10.
Yeah, Durson got a handy lead now in the Masters class, but I was just about to say that Madison had a great few corners there coming into the carousel, but then I think he got just a little bit greedy going through the carousel, bit of understeer coming off the corner, got it wide onto the exit there. The car jumps up in the air. He lost some ground, but he's caught it up again now.
3 or 4 maybe cars lengths between them as they come through, but the hole in the air is being made by Sloan Ury as he comes down to turn 1, and the draft effect will be being felt in the 62 car, and he drags up to maybe a car's length going through turn 1. They're both way off, and big slide by Sandberg, and it's Benitez all over again. He spins in front of the 4th place car. Mills has missed him, but Cisneros, oh no, that was Durson. Durson's gone off as well there, I'm pretty certain. Yes, yeah. That's the Masters leader. The NGT Motorsports car in the wall, driver's left. He's got damage to the rear of that car as well. He went in backwards first, and that was a carbon copy, Jeremy. Cold tyres over the rumble strips, loses the car, and that is a big mistake from Brett Sandberg, who was looking for a great result as the leaders are still battling on. No full course caution called as yet, and side by side coming out of turn number 5 up the hill to 6, and it looks like Madison Snow, he may know that there's a full course caution coming in. He's got the lead. He's got the lead. That's a fantastic piece of driving by the youngster.
Brilliant pass there. He got a great run out of turn 5 alongside going up the hill to turn 6, and there I think Sloan Ury decided discretion the better part of Valley. Didn't try and hang it out around the outside for fear of being run off the road on the exit, so it's Snow who leads, but not by very much going into the carousel.
Fast hands from Sloan Ury. He lost the rear end of his Porsche coming out of the corner before the carousel, and just maybe lost a little bit of momentum. He thought there was an opportunity there, and now will there be the same mistake from Madison Snow? No, a little more circumspect there. Plenty of room left on driver's left.
Well, plus that time he was out in front, so he got a bit more aero grip on the front of that car. It's a guy behind who kind of, you know, they're in a bit of a vacuum there. So that would explain, I think, why he slid a little bit wide on the previous lap. This time it was Sloan Urry who had to just ease off a little bit going around the carousel and not able to get the run onto that back straightaway.
Angel Benitez Jr., by the way, up into 15th position in class and on the racetrack, so he's got a point in the bag already. That's 10 positions he's made up since the restart. So that has been a very interesting run through the pack and, of course, through that carnage. I'm pretty certain he avoided all that, but we'll check him across the line next time round as we complete lap number 8 with just on 17 minutes to go. And it's a new leader, and the poleman back to the front, Madison Snow, leads it by something of a region of half a second as they go down to turn number 1. And well done the officials, by the way, for leaving this green. They have managed to clear the incident to a point where the cars continue to race. There is Angel Benitez Jr., and he is now up into 10th position. So he's well in the points. That is a magnificent 15 cars that he has passed on just a green flag lap and a bit. That is remarkable driving. Now, in fairness, there was an incident ahead of him, but he did have to avoid that. That is some comeback for the joint championship leader.
Yeah, and he needs as many points as he can get, particularly now with Madison. So having made that pass for the lead, he's looking potentially at 20 points for that win. So in order to stay in contact, Benitez already had 2 DNFs this season. He needs to score as many points as he can. He closed up now right up onto the tail of Peter Collins.
John Bennett goes too deep into turn number 5. I'm not a racing driver, but I know that's not the line through there. But John, no harm, no foul, finds reverse. Do you know how many times have you jumped in a racing car and never found out where reverse was? It's the first thing you should do. And when you're not any good, like me, that's the first thing to do. All right, into the pits. Here is Craig Durson coming out of the pits. Now, remember, he was the one who had that lurid slide coming out of turn number 1 that almost caused a big accident on the restart in a carbon copy of the Benitez Jr. shunt from the, or spin, should I say, from the first corner.
Yeah, he was, and he went off kind of in avoidance of Brett Sandberg there in the True Speed Autosport entry, and Sandberg, amazingly, after that spin, he's resumed in 8th place, which is quite incredible.
Well, yeah, so both of the people who triggered the accidents actually have been the least harmed by it in terms of damage to cars, and at least they are still continuing.
It cost him about 5 seconds, that spin, and 360 and carry. He must have been watching Danny Sullivan's Indy 500 win in 1985, I guess.
Well, it looks like Durson, in fact, hasn't been able to continue and has pulled that car in. I bet it felt like more than 5 seconds of spin. Now, look to the right-hand side of the screen, big side. That is almost identical. Here comes Durson over the top of the brow. I've got through. Oh, I'm on the grass. I've got it. I don't got it. And there's the spin, and he's going to go in backwards. Watch, this time at the brow of the hill. You can just see Sandberg spinning in the red and yellow car. Through goes Mills, and here comes the Masters leader. Masterful piece of avoidance by Colin Thompson, by the way, as he came down through the hill. That caught his attention and just about got the car stopped before he had to turn into turn number 3. And there's Angel Benitez now in 9th position, and every position now is just points. And there is Sandberg right ahead of him. Now, this will be a tougher pass, Jeremy, because Sandberg is a little out of position and he's one of the faster drivers. Yeah,
he is. He's already had a podium finish this season, has Brett Sandberg, in that Privacy Star car, and he knows he's got a quick machine here. He's qualified well here. He's running well now after that first lap spin. But as you say, they've both turned these cars around, and now they're charging or trying to charge back toward the front.
The irony, of course, is neither of those cars has got a scratch on it.
Really.
Of all the bent carbon fibre, metal and other parts, these two cars are nary a fly on them, it would seem.
You've got to feel particularly, I think, for Craig Durson. I mean, he was really unlucky. He committed to avoiding the spinning car by going down the inside, and as he's doing that, Sandberg's car is spinning toward the inside. Sandberg did a good job, it has to be said, of getting on the brakes and not letting the car sort of drift completely across the racetrack. But you're carrying a lot of speed on the exit turn even when you've had to back off there, and it's not easy to back off in these cars suddenly, because when the cars are committed with that heavy rear end of the car, once it's committed and you have to lift off the throttle, it's very easy to turn these cars around, which is really what happened to Sandberg. So poor old Durson, he got pinned to the inside, he got on the dirt on the inside and lost control from there.
Yeah, and going over the top of the brow as well, the car goes a little bit light. Now, the 25 of Angel Benitez Jr. sees Brett Sandberg ahead of him, but what he sees is another points haul. I mean, he's clearly going to recognise it as one of the drivers that he has battled against before, because we have seen Brett up in the top 4 battling for podium positions in the first 8 rounds of this championship. This is round number 9 here at Road America, the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. And you can see now, having made up, what, 15, 16 positions in relatively quick time, he's barely made a dent in the gap between himself and the cars ahead of him. And oh, that is a very, very big incident. There's 2 cars off there. One of them is Dan Wayland, the 11 car. Now there's another car off to the right. I think that's Gianfrancesco, actually. I think so too. Danny Gianfrancesco, who had that headlight issue earlier on, has got some bodywork issues now, and the greater issue of pointing the wrong direction with a car which, to drivers left, as one of the remaining Kelly Moss Motorsport cars comes through the dust there to drivers right. That, I'm pretty certain that's the Gianfrancesco car that is facing the wrong direction, and that's the and I apologise for doing this, because I know that you say this weekend that isn't that the Catherine Legg sort of area of the circuit.
Well, she went off at the kink, so kind of before that, and but yeah, what happened there with Danny Gianfrancesco, we don't really know, but certainly, as you can see, or as we can see here, the full course caution are out for the 2nd time in this race.
Well, let's have a look in the back of shot. Here they are, they're battling together. Wayland goes to the inside on Gianfrancesco. Oh, there's a touch. Oh, dear me, Dan, what are you thinking of? Big lock-up from both. And that, I'm afraid, was an error of judgment by Dan Wayland, going down the inside there where there really wasn't room. The accident's already, or the touch has already occurred at this point, and Danny Gianfrancesco taking out the braking markers was a passenger from that point onwards, and that's an unusual miscalculation from these guys. We don't see driving like that very often in this category.
Well, that's exactly right, because the kink in these cars, even for the leaders, it isn't flat out. There's a touch of the brakes going in, a dab of the brakes, and then you get back on the throttle again to power through the corner and out along the rest of the road, straight away toward Canada Corner. But you wouldn't expect incident on the exit of the corner, more on the entrance of the corner.
I think this may come down, if we go green again, to whether the wall and the retaining fence has sustained any damage on drivers left in the braking area towards Canada Corner. The accident started a long way before that, just exiting the kink and coming down into the left-hander that is that long curved back area of the circuit down towards Canada Corner. You're not really straight until you get into the braking area. The key is to try and avoid the worst of the bumps and get the car slowed down before turning hard right into Canada Corner. One of those turns, of which there are legion around the world, where you always feel, unless you've gone off into the gravel at Canada Corner, you always feel you could have gone through it quicker. Well, the clock is ticking down, but the good news is that we're about to go racing once again for round 9 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. The Porsche Panamera will dive to drivers right as it comes out of the final corner this time around. Danny Gianfrancesco's Formula Motorsport Porsche has been recovered, and the flatbed is hustling into the pit lane to allow this race to finish hopefully under green. We've got maybe 2 laps of it if we can get this restarted, and we're going to go back to green flag racing this time around. Madison Snow needs a better restart than he got from the green flag when he was jumped by Sloan Urey. Now, don't forget, though, it's Linus Stern here as they come to the restart this time, where it was side by side, 2 wide at the start of the race. But Sloan Urey right under the rear valance of the pole sitter and now leader of the race as they climb the hill. The safety car is in the pit lane, and once again Madison Snow is choosing the tactic of backing everybody up, and there's 3 and 4 wide. The green flag is waving, and we are racing, and that's a much better restart from Madison Snow. He's gapped the second place car by a couple of lengths, and Michael Mills in the second of the Effort Racing blue Porsches coming down. Sandberg down the inside has made it 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Marvellous stuff from Sandberg. Restarted in 7th, and in fact has got up to 4th. I gave him 1 extra place than he actually made up. It looks like Angel Benitez Jr. is coming through the pack as well and gets very sideways going down into turn number 3. Has he held on to it? Yes, he has. He restarted down in 9th position, but has made up at least 1 position as the leaders then, with time ticking down to just 90 seconds remaining. We might not get another lap here as they come down to turn number 5. I'm hearing from the race officials that the checker is being readied at the start-finish line, so about 2.5 miles away. That's how much racing we've got left in round 9 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Colin Thompson battling with Benitez. And that is for, I think, 5th and 6th position, as the leaders have the back of the circuit only to negotiate for the final time. Madison Snow then, from Sloan Urry through the carousel. Sloan Urry working out the odds, working out the permutations of where he can get onto the back end of that Snow Racing Right Motorsports car. And I've got to say that I think Madison Snow has timed his charge perfectly. Great restart. Here comes Benitez. Can he make up another position as the leaders go around Canada Corner for the final time? Very defensive line down the inside by Kuhlman, who's leading the Masters class, and that may give half a chance to Colin Thompson and maybe Benitez Jr., who's got past Cisneros. The leaders are coming to the final corner now, and I don't think Urry is close enough, but Snow went very defensively into the final corner. Not really sure why he compromised his entry there. Coming to the checkered flag then, and round 9 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama is won by the pole sitter, but there's so much to talk about with Snow taking it from Sloan Urry. Michael Mills in 3rd, Sandberg just off the podium with a great drive back through the field. Then Kuhlman, who wins the Masters class. Thompson and Angel Andre Benitez Jr. coming back from 25th after the first corner to 7th position. And our gold class leader, congratulations, or gold class winner should I say now, in 13th position overall, the number 22, Frank Seiler, who started on pole position for MGM Racing and managed to avoid all of those midfield incidents and accidents, and in fact improved his position from 24th at the start to take 13th overall and win the gold class for the older cars. Well, that's round 9 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Another 45 minutes of action to come from Road America later on in the weekend. Well, hello everybody and welcome along to round 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. We're at Road America, the Parkland circuit here at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. That is the longest track that the American Le Mans Series and its developmental series visits throughout the season. And the teams and drivers have been thrown a bit of a curveball this Sunday as the rain just started to fall as we were expecting the cars to roll out and form up on the grid. And that's meant that everyone has had to get back onto the pit carts and get their Yokohama wet weather tyres. Lights are out on the safety car as the 2x2 formation grid heads up towards the green flag. On the left-hand side of the picture, it is Madison Snow, and there's no start. The half of the field have not come up to speed, and you can see there's a wagging finger from our starter, and the green flag hanging limply across the starting gantry. Now the clock has started, so the 45 minutes is ticking away, but we will effectively get another sighting lap, which actually is not a bad thing. But of course, I'm presuming now that they will restart line astern rather than side by side. Let's see how the lineup.
I think because there wasn't a green flag, I think they will probably go back to side by side. Okay. I think the reason there wasn't a green flag is because the field was very strung out on that first lap. The guys, particularly in the midfield and toward the back, were just being very tentative on that pace lap, and they didn't want to get too close. And then by the time it came to grid up in 2x2 order, they were kind of too late. And as they were coming up the hill, it was a smart decision by the starter, because as they were lining up, coming up the hill towards the start-finish line, the first 4 or 5 rows were in good order, but the guys behind were doing vastly different speeds. Some of them still trying to catch up and that could have been a recipe for disaster. Some people maybe in the midfield trying to get a big jump on everybody else and they're not yet up to speed, and a smart decision by the starter there to wave it off. And as you say, John, I think this does give the drivers another opportunity now to really get a feel for how wet it is out there.
So round 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama, looking to get underway at the second time of asking. The field bunching up nicely as it heads up the hill. The Yokohama wet weather tyres throw plumes of spray into the air. And the people who can see best, 62 on our left is Madison Snow, number 20 on the right of the front row on the outside, from which he made a great start yesterday. Slow down, and he's doing exactly the same thing again. Just got on the power momentarily earlier than the pole sitter. Angel Benitez Jr. pokes the NGT Porsche nose out in third position to look down the inside, but I think he's just a little bit too far back as they filter through turn number 1. Don't expect everybody to take the classic lines here. You'll be looking for grip, and that may well be on the outside of the corner rather than inside, Jeremy.
Excellent start there. Great job by everybody at that first corner. A good start also by car number 29 there. He's managed to find a way past Brett Sandberg and up into 4th or 5th place. The two NGT cars pretty much side by side for 3rd place, coming down the back straight there.
Yes, the MOMO car seemed to get a bit of a run on Angel Benitez Jr. Look, you see that they're pulling out of each other's slipstream. Normally you'd be right underneath the rear wing of the car ahead, but when you do that you can't see. Madison Snow goes slightly defensively down the hill into turn number 5. It's a really difficult place to pick up your braking point and get turned in, but the leaders have done that, and Sloan Harry still challenging as they come through under the Corvette bridge and into turn number 5. That's where the lead changed yesterday. Big sideways moment for the leader, and here comes Angel Benitez Jr. to join the party.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Madison Snow, they're really struggling to get on the throttle coming out of turn 6. The car steps sideways. Sloan Harry right there, and as you say, Angel Benitez in turn 25, looking down the inside at turn 8, not quite close enough. This time he decides discretion, the better part of valor, unlike yesterday where he tried to make a move at the first corner and spun.
And look at how Angel Benitez Jr. went on a wider line, and he's doing it again. He's searching for traction, searching for grip where the rain has fallen. Of course, it's sitting on the top of the rubber that's been laid down from all the different series this weekend, and it hasn't been raining very long, so the track won't have been cleared off. And look at Harry on the right hand side, goes through and takes the lead before the kink. Got a really great punch out of the carousel and then gathers himself back up again. That was a bit of a breathe-in moment for everybody concerned.
I tell you what, Sloan Harry, boy, has he come on song these last few races. He's had a couple of several second-place finishes. Had to settle one for one yesterday, even though he had his first ever taste in the lead of the race. And now, what a great pass that was.
Off has gone
Enrique.
The 29 car, the MOMO car.
Yeah, that's right. That was Eduardo Cisneros, the brother of Enrique Cisneros, who won the championship here a couple of years ago, now racing in the GTC category in the American Le Mans. We will see Enrique in action this afternoon.
Underneath the Briggs and Stratton Bridge, and Sloan Harry is beginning to develop. Yeah, that was a fabulous lap, and he's developed himself a little bit of a cushion, and you want that. Oh, and the Entrust 44 has gone around, and that is such a shame. Phil Fogg Jr. in the Masters category has been up at the sharp end of the field in the special category for older drivers, and he's lost that at turn 1. Whether he was pushed or he jumped, can't tell you at the moment, as Sandberg comes down in unconventional line into turn number 5 again, just searching out the slightly grippier parts of the track. You really don't want to be riding over the curbs on the exits, and certainly not the white lines. They're going to be super slippy, and Madison Snow is not dealing with this weather. He's not dealing with this weather as well as the cars around him and the drivers around him.
No, I agree with you there. Sloan Harry, certainly he's got the handle on this car. That team, the Effort Racing guys, they've changed shocks since their last race, so they're still learning about them. And talking to them yesterday, they really feel a lot of development in that car to get more speed out of it. But Madison Snow clearly is struggling, and now he's really under pressure going to the carousel from Benitez on the outside line.
This is going to have to be very brave and very sensible driving by. But no, it's not, because already Benitez is round before he's even to the halfway point of the carousel. He took the outside line, all the marbles, all the rubber dirt is out there, and that's given him some extra grip, and he's punched out of the carousel and really closed down on the leader. Not sure what the issue is with Madison Snow, but he's not dealing with the conditions. The car is looking very, very slippery underneath him. He just doesn't seem to have the confidence on turning.
Well, aside from anything else, he's the championship leader now, and with that poor finish yesterday for Benitez, he's got a handy championship lead. So, hey, there's no point in doing anything silly in very, very treacherous conditions. So, for a youngster, 17 years of age, smart driving by Madison Snow.
And you saw the bow wave coming from the rear tyres. Look at how much water those Yokohama rain tyres are moving. It's about a bath load of water every second that's being thrown off each of those tyres on these Porsches. Craig Durson up there in the fight as well has come up to challenge. This is the number 27, and he's the leader in the Masters category. He's rather dropped Casey Coulman at the moment. There's Colin Thompson as well, just behind him in the orange and black Thompson racing car, excuse me. And look at how they're spreading out here. This is all about visibility.
It is, trying to get a good sight line coming down the front straight over there, and looking for the drive, for more grip as well. The racing line, perhaps on the outside line, might not have quite so much grip. There's more rubber laid down. It does tend to get a little bit more slippery. So Andres Benitez, Andres Benitez in second place, looking trying to get a little bit more grip and make a run on Sloan Urry.
Very, very impressed with these guys at the head of the field. Huge slide by Colin Thompson out of turn number 3, but he held it nicely. That was just precipitated by him getting the left-hand rear Yokohama onto the slippery curb as they head over the top of the brow and down into the braking area. Normally you'd be braking just on or over the top of that brow. The guys are going onto the brakes. Oh, and a mistake there by Angel Benitez Jr. Now, did he hold on to that? He did, but he's now going to be back under pressure again from the 62 of Madison Snow. As I was saying, you would normally brake just on or over the brow, but they are getting onto the middle pedal way before that, even before they go over the top of that brow, just trying to feel where the grip is. Might not be at ultimate brake pressure there, but certainly trying to find out where the grip for the Yokohamas are. So it's Sloan Urry leading from Benitez Jr. in second, and then Madison Snow, Sandberg, Jurson, Thompson, Casey Coulman in 7th position. Then Cisneros and Mills and David Ducote having a good run to 10th position after he was taken out by his teammate unintentionally in the first corner, Schmozzle, yesterday.
And the fastest lap on the last lap around lap 3 was by Colin Thompson in car number 14. The youngster, just 19 years old. He's been open wheel racing for the last several years, Formula Ford for the last couple of years, amongst other things. Did some USF 2000 last year as well, but reveling in these tricky conditions.
Couldn't get any more different, couldn't you, from a Formula Ford open wheel, tiny little thing sitting in a bathtub to a mighty 500 plus horsepower Porsche.
You do at least have the engine behind you.
Well, no, that's
so
fair point, yes.
He's used to the oversteer, and he's driving beautifully. Now close right up onto the tail there of Craig Durson in 5th place, and Brett Sandberg for the True Speed Autosport team just in front of him as well, that yellow and red Privacy Star entry.
We thought in qualifying Angel Benitez Jr. was possibly overdriving his NGT Porsche a little bit. He didn't really get the best out the tyres in the early laps, which is a skill that you learn as you're progressing your career. But maybe he's now just trying a little bit too hard again as he comes under pressure. That car is moving around a lot more. Watch the leader, Sloan Urry, and watch the cars behind him. They're trying harder and just beginning to lose traction. Here comes Colin Thompson, who's having a little look on Jurson. Jurson goes to the inside, protecting his line and looking for a smoother entry into the corner. Perhaps not quite on the racing line, either of these guys at the moment, but they're on the ragged edges of adhesion. So impressed by Urry, leading this race now by over a second as they went across the line from Benitez Jr., championship leader when we came into Road America, has had to give that up now to Madison Snow, who is on his own at the head of the points table in 3rd. The rest of the top 6, Brett Sandberg in the 46, yellow and red machine, and he has got close company of Craig Durson leading the Masters class in the 27, and Colin Thompson in that bright orange and black Porsche sitting in 6th position.
Yeah, so it is Craig Durson leads the Masters category. Behind Colin Thompson, the top 6 are pretty much nose to tail. Behind that, there's a pretty big gap now, so opened up to Casey Coulman, the second of the Masters contenders. But right behind Coulman now is Michael Mills moving up the field.
And there is the Masters leader Jeremy was just talking about, going through and taking another position. Doesn't advance his position in the Masters category, but Craig Durson has been fighting with the youngsters around him at the sharp end of the field for the full season, and he's making a point here that perhaps old age and treachery can keep up, and indeed even better the speed and athleticism of the youngsters around him, and he's made a pretty sterling run towards the front of the field and immediately gaps the cars behind him, and that's a new 4th position. Craig Dewson up there and just consolidating then his lead in the Masters category. Now, 2 classes of cars here. We have the platinum cars for the newer Porsches, and the slightly older ones are in the gold category, and here is the battle further down the field. Santiago Creel into the championship this weekend for the Mexican driver, and the 60 car there bearing the colours and the sponsorship from Mexico. Another one of the Wright Motorsports cars, so that's effectively a team car as he goes underneath the 47 of John Baker there. No, he doesn't, because John Baker gets a better punch out of the corner, so effectively that's a team car to Madison Snow. Yeah, and Santiago Creel, he's another guy with a lot of open wheel experience here. His first start in these cars in this championship. Well, second, because he raced yesterday, of course, and had a good run going yesterday. Had a problem later on in the race, but certainly a strong run for Santiago Creel. Quite interesting. Oh, as the leaders are side by side as Snow goes through and will be, I think, scored as the leader that lap around, will he? Oh, that's second place, excuse me. That is the second place battle. So used to seeing Benitez Jr. and Snow battling for the lead as they go down into turn 1. I'd rather forgotten about Sloaneri at the head of the field, for which I apologise to him. He's pulled out now to 2 seconds, and this battle for the championship has sees Madison Snow losing the front end of the Porsche under braking, but masterfully pulls that back. The veteran 17-year-old, and that seems bizarre seeing that, but this is his 3rd full season racing these cars side by side, and he's managed to not only hold that slide, but he's done the old over and under. They are absolutely together. He had position for a moment into second place, but it looks like Benitez Jr. has got the real estate as he comes down into turn 5, and look at Craig Dewson behind. He says, yeah, I'll have a bit of this, lads. Indeed so. Craig Dewson, the fastest man on the track last time around at 2 minutes 40.8, the race leader at 2:41.5, and look at this battle up into turn 6. No quarter asked or given. These are the guys at the head of the championship. Came into the weekend absolutely tied on points. Madison Snow took the championship lead in round number 9 here at Road America yesterday, and Dewson is right there as well. He is come to spoil the party. This is not what Angel Benitez Jr. wants. He wants to get onto the rear wing of that red and white Porsche ahead of him. He does not want to have to defend from the Masters class leader. And here's Sandberg. Sandberg down the inside. Fantastic opportunist manoeuvre there. This is such close racing, Jeremy. You make one move, lose momentum, you could easily lose 2 or 3 places. This is absolutely tremendous. I mean, most of these guys are pretty experienced in these cars. The exceptions being Craig Dewson and Colin Thompson, the 2 open wheel guys. Dewson joined this championship just at the tail end of last season, just did the final race. But boy, what a show he's putting on here. Down the inside into the kick there, past Benitez into 3rd place. That's a fantastic move by Craig Dewson. And you know, he's got quite a lot of experience on this track. He's a veteran of Skip Barber racing competition. He's got a lot of miles around here, and that will help him here. Well, the experience told there from Craig Dewson leading the Masters class, and there'll be 1 or 2 of the young chargers will have seen that. Certainly Angel Benitez Jr., that will be clocked up in his memory bank and say, oh, you can overtake there in the wet. Oh, okay, let's clock that one up. So the 27 car, the NGT Motorsports 27, with Craig Dewson, the man on the move at the moment. He's in a overall podium position. Casey Kuhlman, his closest challenger in the Masters Championship, way back in 7th position and some 13 seconds behind the man he's trying to chase down. Here's the leader. Sloaneri completes lap number 6, and we have just under 20 minutes to go in round 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Angel Benitez Jr. is now in, what, 4th place? As off has, oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. That is the Cisneros car, the Momo car, was up inside the top 10. He's lost it coming into the final corner. And that was a good run going there. It's Eduardo Cisneros. And the Momo car, well, you know, is it damp enough to get... No, there you go, there's the answer. It's not damp enough to pull out of that. There's half a chance, Jeremy, isn't there, when the gravel is wet, that if you keep the momentum going, you might get out of it, but he's just... Oh, he's put his wheels on the grass early there, just coming in too hot. Yeah, he was. He just left his brake a little bit too late, was going too fast on the entry. So it's kind of a difficult curving entry to that right-hand turner, and then it... And we are under full course yellow for that car in the kitty litter at the final corner. And where's Sloan Urry? Sloan Urry's not leading. That is Madison Snow. Madison Snow is leading. There is Sloan Urry. There's been a change in position. And I can only imagine there's been an issue with the car or the driver of number 20, because he was 2 seconds up the road. And having praised Sloan Urry, I may have put the curse of the commentator on him. Now he should be ahead of this. Oh, he is, and he's gone off down at turn 5. That's turn 5, and under no pressure at all, Sloan Urry has spun the lead away.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, the caution had just about come out there, and he's turned like you can see the yellow flags, the yellow lights flashing underneath the bridge. We've got some new light systems here at Road America this year. That is one of the places where those flashing red lights are occurring, and also they are under braking for turn 5 as well. Another safety modification here brought into this racetrack over the last, one of many over the last several years.
So as it stands, with the snatch tractor pulling out the Cisneros car, it is Madison Snow who leads from Sloan Urry, and Craig Dewison, the Masters class leader, is in 3rd place overall. It's round 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama from Road America. Well, the great news for us race fans sitting trackside is that the Porsche Panamera has turned out the lights on the top of that safety car, and we are ready to go racing again in round 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama. Madison Snow holds the lead, but look at the gap between himself and Sloan Urry, nothing at all. Look at the gap back to Craig Dewison, who's taking a run up the hill here. The old master is really using his experience to try and get the run and perhaps be able to pull out of the slipstream. Will we get the green flag this time around? It's a little ragged as they come across the brow of the hill, but look at Dewison now, the 3rd Porsche back. He's had a fantastic run. Now, did he have to lift those he came across? No, he hasn't. Just under 13 minutes to go. Great restart from Madison Snow, but watch Dewison as he pulls out from the slipstream of Sloan Urry. He's on the grass, and he's going to have to get this stop before he goes into turn 1. Surely he can't hold that. The laws of physics apparently don't apply to Craig Dewison as he finds grip on that slippery turn 1 and goes up into 2nd place.
And he didn't lose much ground either, did he? So Madison Snow is only about a car length and a half behind as it turned into turn 3. Craig Dewison is on the move. He's got a great run, launch off the corner as well. The car snaps sideways, and Sloan Urry right there in his slipstream.
That is possibly one of the best overtaking manoeuvres I've ever seen by Dewison. He might have to give the place back here to Sloan Urry as they head over the top of the rise and down towards turn number 5. Madison Snow making his escape. He'll be loving this at the moment. Dewison going really deep on the brakes into 5, and around the outside goes the 20 car of Sloan Urry. That was on the ragged edge, and Urry got such a good run there. He's challenging for the lead. This is where it swapped yesterday in dry conditions. It was the opposite way around, and Urry does a snow on snow. That's fabulous, and Dewison's joining the party as well. Coming up, Angel Benitez Jr. means the top 4 are separated by nothing at all.
Brilliant. Madison Snow was very conservative down there at turn 5. He knew he's a championship leader. He knows he's the lead of the race. He doesn't really know how much grip there is, so he took a little bit easy, and he got passed up the hill by Sloan Urry. What a wonderful motor race this is.
Top 5 now as Brett Sandberg comes into play in the number 46, the yellow and red car just in the background there. Colin Thompson's in there as well as the top half dozen once again begin just to gap the rest of the field. These guys are the Rainmeisters. And look at this again as Urry is just being challenged by the 62 car, and Dewison, we've seen him pull off an amazing manoeuvre already. Wow. Going through the kink, and he's so quick there. He's so quick, and he's already passed Madison Snow. He's just got to hold on round the outside here. He's in perfect position down towards Canada corner, and Dewison is up into 2nd place. Has he got something for the leader?
I think he might well have. He's a great real thinking man there. The dentist, that's his real profession, the dentist down in the Tampa Bay area. But what a great run that was by Craig Dewison. He lifted off going into the kink, got hard on the gas before the kink, and had a fabulous run to take him past into 2nd place.
And he's going for the lead into the final corner, and there's almost an air of an inevitability about that. And the dentist from Tampa has made it through. He's drilled his way through the field and to the front. And now to cap it all, he will be leader as he comes across the line. I promise there'll be no more bad dentist puns for the rest of the race. As they come down now, having completed 9 laps, there are 9.5 minutes to go. Sloan Urry can make this outside line work. We've seen that before. Will he be too greedy? Yes, he is! And Urry's gone way too far off. Thank goodness for the extra tarmac. Believe it or not, he's managed to hold on to second place.
Well, yeah, so I'm not allowed to say he's getting his teeth into this battle. I mean, this is great stuff. Look at his under braking there. Urry left his braking way later than Craig Dewson and almost hit the tail of the 27 car, the leader, going into turn 3, but they're still on it, and they're side by side down the back straight with Dewson on the inside, Urry in the blue car on the outside down toward turn 5, John.
Well, the interesting thing about this is Dewson's made the inside line work all the way through this wet race, but Urry's made the outside line work, so let's see which one has the better attack. And again, Urry has misjudged it. He's in the gravel this time. Keep your foot in, Sloan. You've got to get out of there. And he has done. Now, can he keep the front of the car on as well? I don't think he's dropped off that really important 1.5 inches of splitter, and Benitez has gone through there. Benitez has gone through past Snow as well, so that's extra points for Angel Benitez Jr., and that's great news for his championship challenge. He's now up to second, so Dewson leads, Benitez in second, Snow in third, Sandberg in fourth, Colin Thompson up to fifth, and down into sixth position has gone Sloan. He will be so annoyed with himself about that. Full course caution, the double yellows are out, and that is going to pack everybody back up again. Oh, and it's the Cisneros car again, the Momo 29. Eduardo, has pulled the car off the circuit. He's been attended by the IMSA safety Chevy truck and one of the intervention vehicles. They pull out the equipment, and that's quite a big impact there as he lost it down into turn number 5. And the car comes to a halt. The tyres do their job. I know the tyres look, banded tyres look really old-fashioned, but they are really good at dissipating energy.
Yeah, there is nothing more effective than doing exactly that, just making sure there's some give in that barrier rather than hitting a concrete wall at any sort of a speed. The tyres really do make a huge difference in terms of lessening the impact and lessening the damage that will occur on these race cars.
So with the Porsche Panamera safety car taking them around, as the clock winds down, we will only complete 12 laps here at Road America for round number 10 of the IMSA GT3 Porsche Cup Challenge by Yokohama, and it will be a 2014 debut win for Masters category entrant. He's going to win the Platinum class as well. Craig Dewson, the man from Florida who is a dentist during the day. Well, the big bright smile is his today, not his patient's, as he brings the NGT Motorsport 27 car round to the end of this lap. He will see the checkered flag next time around. He knows it, he's worked it out, and giving some...
That's great. He's such a character, Craig, and this is he'll be absolutely over the moon with this.
That is when I think he realised this was the last lap and nothing can happen. Of course, under yellow, full course caution, nobody can go by him. It's 4 miles of touring round. Normally, drivers do not like sitting in behind the safety car. This, I think, Craig may enjoy as he goes around, and he's milking every minute of it. And why shouldn't he? Because he has got some absolutely quality drivers at the really early part of their racing career, and he has put on a masterclass from the man from the masterclass. He has driven through this field, nothing lucky at all about him being at the front of the field. He has passed every one of those cars behind him to be where he is, and as an older driver myself, I am delighted to see that result. Now there is the confirmation that Cisneros is out of his car waving at the crowd and everything was fine, so that's more good news.
Yeah, he's 49 years old, is Craig, and he's so popular around the Skip Barber race. He's been doing Skip Barber racing for what seems like ever. I know I did a few races against him a long time ago when I was just doing it for fun, which is really what he just races for fun. As you say, a full-time profession. He is a dentist, and this he does for fun. But what a great result that was, and you know, he passed everybody and he set the fastest lap of the race as well. Fantastic job by Craig Dewson.
Ticking plenty of boxes. Hey, there's life in us old dogs yet, as Craig Dewson will lead the field round and pick up the checkered flag behind the Porsche Panamera safety car. Not always never the most satisfactory way to end a race, but the conditions have been certainly one of the winners here, but they have not managed to tame Tampa Bay's Craig Durson and the NGT Motorsports 27 car. Angel Benitez Jr. closed back a few points in the championship in his challenge to wrest away the lead of the championship from Madison Snow, but the worst news for him is that Snow is right up his tailpipes and will take third place points just off the podium. Brett Sandberg has had another good race and a few laps further, and he might have even done better than that. I'd say the same also of fifth place Colin Thompson in the number 14. Sloan Ury will be kicking himself. Absolutely rock solid at their front of the field. If there was any luck from Durson, that was the only thing. He didn't pass Sloan Ury. He was in the battle with him, but he did force the error that put Sloan down the field. And Sloan Ury then in 6th position. But round 10's winner cannot be denied. It is the 27 NGT Motorsports. The Master Class winner is the Platinum Class winner. And through to take full points, and to the delight of his team on the wall, the NGT guys are all there, and Craig Durson will be the man in the bar later on buying the round of drinks.
So a fabulous victory for Craig Durson ahead of Angel Benitez Jr. a 1-2 for NGT Motorsports. Madison Snow in the Snow Racing Wright Motorsports Porsche keeps his championship lead with the 3rd overall and in the Platinum class. In the Masters, Durson takes the victory of course, ahead of Peter Collins and John Bennett. And in the Gold class, Wright Motorsports Santiago Creel takes his maiden victory, ahead of Frank Seiler for MGM, and Michael Levitas, the championship leader, gets back on the podium for TPC.